Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about booby step number 4, which is choosing your surgeon. So for me, this has been a little bit of a process because a lot of the surgeons I'm looking at are out of state. So I do a lot of communicating through emails and on the phone. And there was one surgeon that I really wanted to go to, but I didn't want to jump the gun yet because I encourage women to go to multiple consultations to get a good idea of what other surgeons can offer you, how confident your surgeon feels, that kind of thing. So, in addition to the one surgeon that I really wanted, I also reached out to 2 other surgeons, and through the process, I was just still blown away by the surgeon of my choice, my first choice, and that is Dr. Pyle in Raleigh, North Carolina, and he practices with Davis and Pyle Plastic Surgery. So I'm so excited to get my procedure. I'm also really nervous, but it's really important that you can connect with your surgeon, in a way that you don't feel uncomfortable. You have an energy to where you can relax when you're around them. That's really important because if you're really stressed out and nervous during your consult and your pre-op, you're not going to be as open and honest about the results you want. You're going to hold back some. So that's why it's really important that you like your surgeon. And maybe they have a personality that you don't like. That's a bad experience. You want to have a good experience from beginning to end, and that's really important to me. So I also want to mention Greta. She is the patient care coordinator and manager, the patient care manager there. She has been awesome. Anytime I have a question that I don't want to bother Dr. Pyle with, I'll shoot it to her and she'll get back to me within a day. She's great. She's one of those people that she's so excited and she loves her job so much that you want to have a job like that. And it's really inspiring. And another thing I love about what Greta does is she gives people a good experience, And to me, experience is huge. If you go into your plastic surgeon's office and the front desk girl isn't excited to see you, there's kind of what's your name? And they write it down. Already, you're just kind of you don't feel cared for. You feel like a number, and that's not a place you want to be. If the people working there aren't excited and aren't happy, you might want to look at a different surgeon's office because that was kind of my experience with my first augmentation. It's kind of a weird story. I've actually never even talked about it, but me and my husband were the first people there. I was the first surgery of the morning, and we were waiting for them to open the door. And one of the nurses came up, and I don't know if she was having a bad day, but she was just in a mood. And so from the moment I walked in the door, it was kind of I took on that negative mood, and it just kind of took away from the experience that could have been awesome, but it just kind of put a damper on it, which kind of sucked. So I would definitely look at the staff. And at Dr. Pyle's office, the staff there have been nothing short of amazing. They take their time, they answer my questions, they're very detail oriented. When I sent Dr. Pyle my pictures to get an idea of what my options were, he sent me 3 different options, and they were 2 paragraphs each for each option, and told me which one that he would suggest if it were him, but it was completely up to me. So I was never pressured into choosing one. He never pushed me you need to get this one. It was, here are 3 good options, but if it were me, I would go with this one. So it really opened a line, or opened a channel for dialogue. We could talk about it, and I love that. I like that Dr. Pyle wants to communicate. He wants to talk about it. He wants to have a conversation. And to me, there's no better way to relay what I want better than to feel comfortable with my surgeon, to just sit down and talk about it. So yeah, I'm super pumped. My augmentation date is March 2nd. It's in less than a month. So I'm my mind is blown. I can't believe in less than a month I'm going to be having surgery. So today I'm walking around the house, my head's full of you need to remember this, this, and this, because they're in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I live in Nashville. So I'm going to need to, fly over there, have my pre-op March 1st, or my consultation pre-op March 1st, and then my surgery March 2nd, and I'm going to stay there a week to recover before flying back home. So I'm trying to remember, okay, don't forget your recovery kit. Don't forget the 45-degree angle sponge so I can be propped up. Don't forget, blah. So I would encourage you. I wrote an article this past week on 5 ways I'm helping my pre-op jitters, and one of those is journaling. Like, journaling is really, really therapeutic for me. So I would encourage you, like, if you have all this stuff floating around in your head, just write it down. Like, get it on paper, because the less stuff you have floating around in your head, the clearer you're going to be able to think, and the less stressed out you're going to be, because you're going to have a plan of action on paper that you don't have to try and remember. So I would encourage you to start journaling if you don't already, or use notes in your phone and just start putting stuff in there. That's what I was doing today when I was walking around the house with my little girl. I was holding her and I was taking notes with my left hand. So do what you got to do. So yeah, I chose my surgeon, Dr. Pyle of Davis and Pyle Plastic Surgery in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to be actually documenting my experience while I'm there too, so you'll get to see that. So I'm really interested to know who you guys have chose for your surgeon, so just leave me a comment below and we'll have a conversation. Thanks for stopping by.